Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me for another target board. This time we're heading to the 2023 class. Offensive and defense will be covered today. I'm starting out with the QBs. There are 4 names right now to know. This list will expand, of course. The top 2 are offered, Arch Manning and Dante Moore, both very highly ranked 2023 quarterbacks. They both currently have a Notre Dame offer. As of right now, I don't think Notre Dame will be involved too much with Arch Manning. I like him ending up at Duke, LSU, maybe Ole Miss, Tennessee possibly. Dante Moore, I think if Ohio State offers, it'll be the trifecta with Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Michigan. Right now, Michigan most likely, his personal trainer is Devin Gardner, former Michigan starting quarterback. And then the bottom 2, Nico Iamaleava, and then Tad Hudson. I definitely butchered Nico's name. They don't really have a leader right now. 2 open guys. Both guys I thought Notre Dame could possibly offer during the Pot of Gold day on Wednesday. That's the baseline of this video. But they did not. I could definitely see these offers coming out, though, in the next coming weeks. Nico will be playing his sophomore season soon for Warren High School. Tad Hudson, I believe North Carolina has not played yet, so I think he's in the same boat. Both guys over 6'3". Nico is actually a big-time volleyball prospect as well. I'm near certain I actually played against him in a tournament. I used to play a little bit of volleyball, and he was really, really good. I remember playing this team from California with a bunch of, I'll say, Polynesian dudes. I'm not completely sure Nico's heritage, but I just remember seeing this kid, and he had a football in his bag, and I don't even know. I could be completely off here, guys, but I recognize his name as he is like a top 10, top 25 ranked guy in the country when it comes to volleyball, and I keep up with the scene a little bit. I know the teams we play, but Nico, super, super talented, huge fan of his game on the football and volleyball court. And then Tad Hudson, no leader there, does not have a Notre Dame offer yet. They are, of course, evaluating him, or else he wouldn't be on this list. I'll keep you posted on those lower 2 guys, and of course Arch and Dante as well. I'm doing everything except offensive line. Offensive line gets its own slide, as well as quarterback. I have 1 running back to know, that is Justice Haynes. Notre Dame currently has offered 4 or 5 running backs. I think Justice Haynes is probably the top guy. Haynes' dad played for the Bulldogs, and his dad was good friends with Jerome Bettis, something to know. He goes to a good Catholic school down in Georgia, Blessed Trinity, and he definitely values academics. He's a Notre Dame kid. Now, your dad played at Georgia. You're getting recruited by Georgia. I could definitely see Georgia winning this. My pick is currently in for Georgia, but you never really know. Stranger things have happened. We'll see where he ends up. Jalen Hall is a wide receiver, and I could definitely see this guy being a 5-star when push comes to shove. This time in about 20 months, 25 months. Texas, A&M, Oklahoma are probably the top 2 right now. Bama's up there. He has all the offers, guys, though. Auburn, Bama, Florida State, Georgia, LSU, Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Oklahoma. He might even have a Texas as well. Just a super, super talent. He's already 6'3", 180. Just a huge talent. Speedster. I watched a little bit of his film. He could fly. Definitely got to watch. Has a high GPA. Is definitely a Notre Dame kid, but he's in the Southwest. I don't know how likely it is he does end up at Notre Dame. Carnell Tate is a guy that I'm assuming most of you guys know who he is, especially if you watch my prior videos. Carnell has had a Notre Dame offer since, I believe, June or July of last year, and he's been recruited pretty heavily by Notre Dame ever since. He will actually be on campus this weekend. He is on a little bit of a break from IMG Academy, where he currently goes in Florida, and he does live in Chicago or the Chicago suburbs, so not too far away from South Bend. So, yeah, got to know there. Carnell Tate, huge 2023 target. Let's hope he ends up in the Bend. Mac Markway is a guy that I promise you pretty much every school in the country will be after, and he is a candidate to be a 5-star tight end. Notre Dame is offered. Ohio State is offered and is on his trail. He's an older cousin that either currently or did play ball at South Carolina. Alabama has offered. Florida's intriguing. Kyle Pitts is a huge figure for all these high school, especially these freshmen and sophomore tight ends. So this will be a highly coveted player, and if Notre Dame can win it, that would be a huge win for John McNulty and company. Right now, my pick is in for Notre Dame. That's more of a projection pick, but we will see where his recruitment ends up. Can Notre Dame continue the St. Louis pipeline? We will see. Jackson Howard. I thought when I saw this dude had 46 offers, I thought this was a joke. Is a very, very good basketball prospect as well. Right now, I have Ohio State just in the fact they are a top basketball and football school. And I believe pretty much every school, or at least a few of the schools, including Ohio State, have offered him to play both football and basketball at the next level. 6'4", 225. I believe he's a small forward or a power forward. We'll see if he continues to grow, but he's definitely got to watch out for. I do not believe Notre Dame gave him a dual sport offer. I believe that was just for football. Jaden Wayne is a guy that I'm hoping to get on the channel actually soon. I'm going to reach out to him, see if he'll come on. But Jaden Wayne, really, really talented from the state of Washington. I think he's leading Oregon right now. Kayvon Thibodeau is his favorite player. The high academic kid, Notre Dame fit. Notre Dame is after him. Del Alexander extended the offer. And he's pretty much being recruited at a number of positions. I'd probably tag him as a defensive lineman when he gets to college, but he can play tight end. He does currently play tight end. So, yeah, that's the scoop on Jaden Wayne. Moving on to the offensive line. 6 offers right now, maybe 7 actually, but I included 6. Chase Pesontis, big kid, 6'5", 290 as a sophomore. From Don Bosco Prep, private school in New Jersey, tough, hard kid. Right now, probably Penn State and Notre Dame are at the top of his list. Michigan is also offered. We'll see where his recruitment goes. Visits will be big there, as with most of these kids. Harrison Sewell, Sewell, not completely sure how to pronounce it. He's out of Odessa, Texas, Permian High School. Not really sure where his recruitment is at. Has a bunch of big-time Big 12 offers. We'll see. Notre Dame is one of the first to offer. They're getting in early in this recruitment, but it's definitely going to be hard pulling them out of Texas. Monroe Fleming from Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. Not really sure. I don't think he has any leaders. He's a big-time student-athlete, though. Has a Georgia Tech, has a Duke offer. But we'll see. His recruitment's really, really fresh. TJ Shannon. This is a guy from Florida. Don't think he's really leading any which school. We'll see what happens. I believe, though, he is getting up to Notre Dame sometime in the coming months for a visit. Don't quote me on that, though. Caden Proctor and Alex Birchmere are 2 offensive linemen to really, really have an eye on, as well as Chase Pesontis. If there are 3 guys to know, it's Birchmere, Proctor, and Pesontis. I'll start with Proctor. I believe this is a 3-way race between Iowa, Ohio State, and Notre Dame. He is teammate of current Southeast Polk standout, and I'd say Ohio State lean Xavier Nwankpa. Proctor had a really, really good sophomore year. He's ranked in the top 35 on 247's initial 2023 rankings. And he's a ton of good offers. I'm going to be completely honest. Has a good bit of SEC, Big 12, Big 10. He's offers from all over the country. Don't think he's leading anywhere yet. I made my pick in favor of the Buckeyes, but I don't really have that with much reasoning. Sure, if Nwankpa goes there, that will definitely help. But at the end of the day, I could definitely see Notre Dame landing Proctor. Visits will be big, and he did say Notre Dame is the only really school that can compete at a high level and has Ivy League-like academics. So that's big. Have that in mind. And then Alex Birchmere, I could really see as a 5-star, just like Procton in 2 years from now when the final rankings come out. I'd call him a Penn State lean at first. He's from a very pro-Penn State area in Virginia. But Has a lot of good national offers, just like Proctor. Right now, he is scheduled to be at both Penn State and Notre Dame in early June for an unofficial, just self-guided tour. He might be able to meet the coaches then, hopefully if the dead period closes up. But that's all what ifs. We will see. Alex Birchmere is a guy to definitely know if you are a Notre Dame recruiting fan. Moving on to the defensive line, another very talented positional group that Notre Dame and Mike Elson are going after hard. You see a bunch of big names here. All these guys I could definitely see as 4 and 5 stars if they aren't already on other services. But I'll start with Sam Mpemba. This is a guy who I had the chance to interview about a month and a half ago, and he definitely seemed like a big fan of Notre Dame. Super high in academics, super high on Mike Elston and company, the tradition, the faith aspect of it. I could 100% see Sam Mpemba ending up at Notre Dame, and I honestly might even make a pick in Notre Dame's favor. But since then, Bama has offered, a few other schools have offered, big-time schools. So changes some things up, but at this current moment, I think Notre Dame leads. We will see campus visits will play a major, major role in his recruitment. Brennan Vernon is a guy who I believe was on Notre Dame's campus at least once last fall, was a national recruit as a freshman. I like him ending up at Ohio State with pretty much every other analyst there is. He's from Mentor, Ohio. Definitely looks like Joey and Nick Bosa, even as a sophomore in high school, 6'5", 230. But we will see. Visits will matter. I think Notre Dame's probably second, but I don't think they win this one. Luke Montgomery is another guy that I think could end up at Ohio State. He played AAU ball actually with Bronny James, son of LeBron James. I would watch their highlight videos and say, who's that white kid number 8? Turns out it's Luke Montgomery. 19 total offers. I believe you might have picked up 1 or 2 more since I created this little document. But huge fan of his game. He's already 6'5", 260. These kids are massive. I just don't even know what their parents are feeding them. But I think right now an unofficial top 2 would be Ohio State and Notre Dame. I think it will come down to those 2 schools. It really depends, though, visits and how much academics play a factor, and what school he wants to go to. Jason Moore, this is a kid that has a ton of big offers. Michigan, Penn State, Notre Dame, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, LSU. Is actually the brother of Justin Moore, current Villanova starting shooting guard. So this is interesting to me. Villanova is my basketball school, and so Notre Dame's my football school. This is a really interesting recruit to me. Is from DeMatha High School, a school that has been friendly to Notre Dame in the past. Right now, don't think there's a leader. I don't even think he knows if he wants to play basketball or football at the next level. If he plays basketball, though, I could definitely see him choosing Villanova, and that wouldn't be too bad. If Notre Dame loses out for football, Villanova will land him for basketball. So personally, not the worst. But Keon Keeley is another kid to know about. I try not to talk about other sites too much, but Irish Sports Daily actually put in a pick for him right when he landed the offer. That is just something to know, as you can't see Irish Sports Daily's picks here, but they're a great recruiting service that follows Notre Dame football very well. Keeley, 2 offers, 8 offers. Had a pretty good sophomore year. I watched a little bit of his tape. This is definitely going to be an evaluation kid. I could see him going, if there's an Irish invasion this summer, coming up to South Bend and having just an incredible performance. There you go. He is a 4-star, 5-star then. Hasn't got that national exposure quite yet, but once he does, and if he can perform there, that would be huge for him in his ranking. But solid offer by Notre Dame. Nevertheless, Levis Overton, I believe he's the number 1 ranked player on 247's initial 2023 rankings. I think he deserves every bit of that praise. Has offers from pretty much everywhere: Bama, Georgia, Florida, Oklahoma, Notre Dame. Has some family in the South Bend area and in Indiana. Also picked up a Michigan offer since I made this document. Right now, my pick is in for Oklahoma. His dad was an offensive lineman there in the early 90s. I think his top 2 would be Georgia and Oklahoma. You never know, though. If academics play a big part, you got to think Notre Dame gets at least a look, at least a visit or 2. But for the number one player in the country, Notre Dame is on him, especially early. I'm glad. And with Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame can do anything, guys. Let's be honest. And to close out the video, I will be talking about two linebackers and then some safeties and corners. Trey Edwards and Drake Bowen, I could really see as a great linebacking haul. And I think they both could end up in Notre Dame. Trey Edwards grew up a Notre Dame fan. We watch the games every Saturday with his dad. And he goes to Mater Dei, big-time Notre Dame school, Catholic in California. Brian Polian recruits that Southern California area very well. Look for him to get out to South Bend for a visit this summer. That would be huge. But definitely a recruitment to watch there. He's ranked number 13 on 247's initial rankings. And then Drake Bowen is another ranked guy. I believe he's somewhere in the 50s or 60s. He is from Andrean High School in Maryville, Indiana. And I think he's pretty solid to end up at Notre Dame. He's a lean for sure right now. His family are big-time Notre Dame fans. Indiana has been on his offer sheet for, I believe, well over a year now. But in the end, I don't think that will matter too much. I like him to end up in this class. And he could definitely be the first guy committed. So, yeah. Alex Stiles, a.k.a. Sonny Stiles, is the younger brother of current Notre Dame wide receiver Lorenzo Stiles from Pickerton Central High School in Pickerton, Ohio. Michigan has offered as well since I made this document. So right now, I guess an unofficial top three would be Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Super early, though. Don't stick to that at all. But, Dad went to Ohio State. Brothers at Notre Dame. Michigan's pretty much the third Midwest power. Even though I dislike Michigan, I got to give them some credit. I could see the three Styles men going to the three big schools. But we'll see. I think right now, though, Notre Dame leads for Sonny. He has a very, very close relationship with his brother, and that would be just a massive get for Notre Dame and company. Javon Thomas, this is a kid who I believe his dad went to Notre Dame. Don't quote me on that. I believe his dad played ball for Notre Dame too. For 8 offers, these are some incredible 8 offers, guys. I think you can read them. Baylor, Kansas, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Oregon, Texas, and USC. Big-time first 8 offers. I think Notre Dame right away leads. He's been wanting this Notre Dame offer pretty damn bad, and landing it pretty early in his recruitment. This is big time. I could 100% see him ending up at Notre Dame. I could see these top 4 guys, these middle and top row guys, all ending up in Notre Dame. I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but it would not shock me whatsoever. These last 2 guys are a little bit of reach picks. Hey, it's Marcus Freeman season. You never know what will happen. But at this current moment, I have them going elsewhere. Javion Toviano is from Martin High School, goes to the same school as Ernest Cooper, 2022 Notre Dame defensive end target. Right now, I'd give it to Texas. Sark is doing a great job recruiting those Texas kids. But you never really know. He looks developed. He looks as developed as a 2022 or even 2021 guy. And he plays really, really well. Lengthy, speedy. Definitely got to watch out for. Malik Muhammad from IMG Academy. I believe he's originally from either Texas or Oklahoma. He has at least one older brother, maybe 2, that currently or formerly went to Oklahoma State and played for the Pokes. Do I see him ending up there? Maybe, maybe not. He has 23 offers, a pretty national offer sheet, so we could see him going wherever. I will say, though, if Mpemba and Carnell Tate, 2 current IMG Academy 2023 players, end up going to Notre Dame, commit pretty early before their senior year or during their senior year, that could generate some positive hype to the rest of the group. As IMG Academy definitely builds some great players and some great friendships, so watch out for that. But yeah, that's the video. 2023 board, offensive and defensive. I'll scroll through it really quickly. Defensive lineman here, offensive lineman here, wide receiver, tight ends, running backs, and then quarterbacks. So yeah, that's the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment. I respond to all